Hi students, I am so sorry about what happened with math. I didn't know that we did not send the volume 1 book. So I did change the math assignment. So I'm going to go ahead and start with skills 12, page 1. That's the very first thing we're working today on Monday. So I'm going to go ahead and begin by reading the instructions. Use the protractor provided for questions 1 and 2. So the protractor will help me answer questions 1 and 2. It says angle RST and angle USV are shown below. The first thing that I want to do is I want to draw them out so I can see them. So I have angle RST. So I start with R, S, and T. So that's one angle. And then the other one is angle USV. USV. What is the measure of angle RST? They want me to find angle RST. So I'm looking for the big angle. The purple one, not the red one. So I'm going to go ahead and start by looking at the one of the first I'm going to go ahead and look to see where is it pointing to. Is it pointing to the left or to the right? And in this case, it's pointing this way. So that means that I'm going to start with the 0 on this side. So I'm going to be using the outer scale, right? Because it's pointing to the left. So where is it ending? It ends at 100, between 100 and 110. So what's in the middle? We know that between 100 and 110, we have 105. So my answer will be C. Question number 2. What is the difference? You subtract between the measure of angle RST. And remember that we had already gotten RST. RST was going to be 105 degrees. And angle USV. We do not have angle USV. So I'm going to come back to the top and I'm going to find out the measurement for angle USV. So if you notice, USV is pointing to the right. So that means that I'm going to use the 0 on this side, which is my inner scale. And if you notice, the angle ends right at 50. So this angle USV is going to be 50 degrees. To find the difference, we are going to subtract. So we take the 105 degrees minus the 50 degrees. 5 minus 0 is 5. 0 minus 5 we cannot. So we regroup and he becomes a 0. And the 0 becomes a 10. 10 minus 5 is 5. So my difference is 55 degrees. Now for Monday, we're also going to be working on Basic Facts 17. This is Basic Facts 17. I'm not going to do these with you because you need to be practicing your basic facts. Just make sure that as you're practicing them, you're saying them so that they stay in your mind. 5 times 3 equals 15. Okay, my suggestion for you is do the first ones you know first, and then focus on the ones that you do not understand so you can make sure that you're memorizing these because these are important. They're going to help us. So make sure you're memorizing your basic facts. So I'm not going to do this one, but this is what you have to do for Monday. The last thing that I'm going to work on for today is going to be problem solving 13B. So let's go to 13B, which will be this one. So we did 13A right before we went on break. So I'm going to do 13B today. It says, the picture shows a number of peanuts that were in 4 peanut bags. So we have the 4 peanut bags. Mad Ducks took the peanuts from the bags and put them into smaller bags with 8 peanuts in each bag. How many smaller bags of peanuts did Maddox have? Now we have to think about what they're saying. We have the 4 peanut bags. Maddox took the peanuts from the bags, so that means that he took all of the peanuts from the bags, and then he put them into smaller bags with 8 peanuts in each. So that means that he got smaller bags and he shared each 8 peanuts. So right away, I know that means each means division, right? And also where it says that he put them into smaller bags, that means that he shared equally, right? So how many smaller bags of peanuts did Maddox have? This is going to be a 2-step problem. First things first, I need to figure out how many peanuts does he have in all, because he put them all, not just one bag. It said all of the bags. So I'm going to take 96. I'm going to add 84, 46, and 62. 6 and 4 make 10. 10 and 6 make 16. 16 plus 2 means 18. So I'm going to regroup. 9 and 1 make 10. Plus 8 means 18. Plus 4, that means 22. Plus 6, that means 28. So there's 288 bags. Now, I'm going to take, for step number 2, I'm going to take my total and I'm going to share equally with 8 peanuts in each bag, so I can figure out how many how many small bags he will be making. So I'm going to go ahead and divide. So I'm going to do 288 divided by 8. And I'm going to do my basic facts of 8. So I have, 8 times 0 equals 0. 8 times 1 equals 8. 8 times 2 equals 16. 8 times 3 equals 24. 8 times 4 equals 32. 8 times 5 equals 40. 8 times 6 equals 48. 8 times 7 equals 56. 8 times 8 equals 64. 8 times 9 equals 72. 8 times 10 equals 80. Now, if you know your basic facts, I know, Randy, you're really good on the basic facts. And Angel, you do not have to write them down. You can actually work it out in your head, right? So we're going to go ahead and begin by dividing 8 divided by 2. Can the 8 go into 2? No. So we're going to regroup. So now we have 28. 8 times what gives me 28? Well, I'm going to look at my products, and I do not have 28. I do not have 28, but I have 24. Remember, we cannot use 32 because that one's bigger, but we can use the one before, which will be the 24. So I'm going to use this basic fact. So I'm going to say 8 times 3 equals 24. Now we're going to subtract 28 minus 24. That is going to be 4. And we're going to bring down the last digit, which will be an 8. Now I have 48. 8 times what gives me 48? I look for the 48, so it's right here. That would be 6. 8 times 6 equals 48. 48 minus 48 equals 0. Do I have anything else to bring down? No. Did I have a remainder? No. So my answer is going to be 36 small bags. Now, you could have also done 288 divided by 8. Notice that it's the same problem, but you could also have done the box. So 288 and we are dividing by 8. You could have also done this one. So I have a 2. I'm going to go to my multiplication tables. Do I have a 2? I do not. I cannot use 8, so I'm going to be using the 0. So I'm going to write 8 times 0 equals 0. We subtract. 2 minus 0 equals 2. Bring up. So now I have 28. I'm going to go to my products. Do I have a 28? I do not. So I'm going to use 24. So I'm going to say 8 times 3 equals 24. Subtract. 28 minus 24 is 4. So now we bring up. So I have 48. Do I have 48 in my products? Yes, I do. It's going to be 8 times 6 equals 48. 48 minus 48 is 0. Notice that we got the same answer, which was 36. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, please let me know. Tomorrow we'll continue. I'll continue with the next video. This one I know is just I did it real quick because I did it this morning.